should you visit Balesin Island? Hey, what's up guys? I'm Sunny Lee and today I'm reviewing Balesin Island. It's an exclusive island club here in the Philippines and it's often seen as one of the most opulent places to visit in the country. In this video, I'll be reviewing the service, the food, the living spaces, and the amenities of the island, and I'll be sharing my overall experience, and I'll be answering the question, should you visit Balesin Island? Let's get to the video. As for an overview of Balesin Island, it's sort of a themed resort island. It's sort of like a Disneyland for vacationers, where you can explore different themed villages. Getting to the island. Alphaland Aviation. Now they have this private hangar in Pasay. So far, I think the hangar experience could be better. For such an exclusive program catering to the most discerning taste, I expected a high-class lounge with some snacks and drinks and nice music. The charter plane was also very basic, almost a bit tattered. It could also use a bit of improvements in the interior. Maybe the hangar and the plane experience was a bit shabby. To set your expectations a bit low, because when you arrive on the island, it's absolutely breathtaking. The views, the scenery, the interior design, the architecture, the landscaping, everything is really great. I had high expectations, but I think they really delivered and it really makes a strong, good first impression. The service. A very strong part of their service is their transportation staff, because in order to transfer to different villas, you need to ride different vehicles like vans or jeeps. And they're very vigilant on picking up guests that are walking in between villages. As for the cons of the service, the general staff was not very accommodating. Don't expect any greetings when you walk past staff. Don't expect Shangri-La levels of service, like a 5-star hotel service. Also, waiters, they sort of forget requests and are quite unattentive. The food. Overall, since the island is a captured high-end market, the prices are really high. I would say it's about twice what you would pay for in Manila for an equal quality. And the food quality is sort of a mixed bag. Here are the good places to eat in Balesin Island. The first one is definitely Toscana, their Italian-themed village. I think they have the best food overall on the island and really competes with really great other Italian restaurants in the Philippines. The next one is Costa del Sol, the Spain-themed village. They had really great food as well. I highly recommend the Black Paella. Number 3 is Mykonos, their Greece-themed village. They had really solid food as well, I would say above average. And last good place to eat at is Saint-Tropez. Their food is very basic, but still pretty okay, above average. As for the cons, for me the worst place to eat at is Hangang, the Korean restaurant. It pales in comparison with every Korean restaurant here in Manila. The Hangang restaurant is very subpar. Second, not so good place to eat at is Rico's Hideaway. The food is very basic. It reminds me of a very basic Mongolian bowl, but considering the price and considering the rest of the options, it's the best value on the island because it's unlimited. Third is the Clubhouse. It was quite average, nothing too special there. They serve mostly Filipino food. The next one is Phuket Village. The Thai food is just okay. I would say slightly below average of the typical Thai restaurant here in Manila. And lastly is the Sakura Japanese restaurant. It was also slightly below average compared to most Japanese restaurants in Manila. And there are so many of them. The amenities. So let's start with the pros. The pools are very private. There are so many pools to choose from. You can also easily have a pool or a beach all to yourself. It's very private, very secluded, very quiet. And third is the clubhouse. The clubhouse, pool, and beach are amazing. They got the biggest pools and the widest beach. It's so clean as well. It's so clear. It's a perfect beach experience. As for the cons of the amenities, the pool is salty, not intentionally salty, because in Costa del Sol they had a dedicated saltwater pool and a freshwater pool with chlorine, of course, but both of them were salty. Second con is some outdoor areas are not so clean. You can easily find leaves on the floor or some grass growing on the beach. I think those could use some work. Third con is some trees look damaged. Since the island is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, I think the winds could be really strong. Fourth con of the amenities is the transportation, because sometimes it gets really crowded. We experienced that as well. The transportation services that you call take really long to arrive at your location. That could use a lot of improvement, but you can also rent golf carts if you don't want to wait for them. However, they can be a bit expensive at around 3,000 per day. Each golf cart is good for 4 people. I would say the ideal group to visit is really 4 people. The living spaces. I really loved all the interior design, the architecture, everything was really nice. It really makes you feel that you're at some other foreign country. As for the rooms, they were really large, very spacious, really no issue with space there. You know, one room is, I would say, good for 4 people, definitely, at least. However, one con that we experienced was the water. The water tasted really off. It sort of gave off the vibe that the water was sitting in a tank for a long period of time, as well as the power. The power went out once during our 4-day stay. As for my overall experience, I loved Balesin Island, definitely. Nice way to unwind, really have a private space and enjoy nice beaches, nice architecture, nice interiors, and relatively okay food. And now that brings us to the summary of this video. Who do I think Balesin is not for? The first reason is if your idea of a vacation is a cultural immersion, if you like exploring cultural destinations and getting to know the history of a place, if your idea of a vacation is getting to know the people and walking in their shoes and experiencing their daily lives, if your idea of a vacation is trying exotic foods, the best restaurants, and rustic street food experiences, even if your idea of a vacation is staying at a 5-star hotel or even staying at a hostel and investing all that money in experiences, if your idea of a vacation is experiencing nightlife and night markets, Balesin is not really for you. The second reason why you should not go to Balesin is if you have not gone anywhere else yet. Now sure, you can experience 7 different themed villages, but at the back of your mind, you're still in the Philippines. Going to the actual place and getting to know the people, the culture, the history, and the food is still a more rewarding experience. Which brings us to my last point. Number 3, you shouldn't go to Balesin Island if you cannot afford it. Sorry to state the obvious, but it's very expensive to go to Balesin. This is where politicians, celebrities, successful businessmen go if they want to unwind. This is where they come for quick getaways if they don't have a private island themselves. Here is a breakdown of all our costs for 4 people for a 4 days, 3 night stay. And if you don't have a membership endorsement from one of their 2,500 members worldwide, the cost for each night increases to 50,000 pesos. Now moving on to the reasons why you should visit Balesin. You should go to Balesin if your idea of a vacation is winding down in privacy and comfort, taking pictures and sharing them on social media. It's really a great place to bring a nice camera. Being around beautiful architecture and interiors. If you love to move around because you get bored too easily, because you can easily switch between villages for a different vibe altogether, if your time is valuable. Now the flight itself is just 20 to 30 minutes. It took us less than an hour from waiting to board the plane all the way to our house already here in Metro Manila. So I think that's a very big advantage versus going to any other location, like maybe even Boracay, Coron, international like Phuket, Maldives, all these other places. It's so fast to get there. And so that's my review of Balesin Island. Hope you enjoyed and learned a lot about this island based on my experience. Hope you also enjoyed a lot of the pictures. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews, style and tech videos, and I'll see you guys next week.